United Nations peacekeepers in Somalia have run into another ambush, and tonight U.S. troops are again being blamed for killing women and children while defending themselves on the streets of Mogadishu. David Martin has some exclusive information as he reports this new shootout comes amid rising calls for the U.S. to get out of Somalia.
U.S. helicopters circled over the scene of an ugly shootout between Americans and Somalis in which gunships fired into a hostile crowd threatening to overwhelm a UN convoy. The American commander could see women in the crowd before he opened fire.
I didn't say I fired on women and children. I said I fired on armed Somalian militiamen within hand grenade throwing range of soldiers who had been ambushed.
Attempting to justify the action, which left a still unknown number of Somali women and children killed or wounded, a UN spokesman vividly described just how impossible conditions in Mogadishu have become.
Everyone on the ground at that particular point in that vicinity was a combatant, as far as we were concerned. Whether they shouldered a weapon at that moment or not, they were a combatant because they meant to do us harm.
2 American soldiers were wounded, but U.S. policy in Somalia may have been the biggest casualty.
We went to Somalia to keep people from starving to death. Now we are killing women and children because they're combatants. It's got to stop. It's got to stop, and it's got to stop soon.
And the U.S. military agrees. CBS News has learned that General Joseph Hoare, the commander of American forces in Somalia, has sent a strongly worded message to Joint Chiefs Chairman Colin Powell, warning that the U.S. is on the wrong track. If the solution for Mogadishu is a large-scale infusion of troops, and if the only country available is the U.S., it's time to reassess our commitment. In a second message entitled Mission Creep, Hoare warns that U.S. troops are doing much more than they originally agreed to do, and there doesn't appear to be any end in sight to UN requests for assistance.
But Hoare has no new solutions to offer except to hang in there and hope U.S. troops get lucky and capture or kill the fugitive warlord Mohammed Aidid. David Martin, CBS News, The Pentagon.
What will General Colin Powell do for an encore when he retires as chairman of the Military Joint Chiefs at the end of this month? Religious broadcaster Pat Robertson, a Republican, is saying now what some others have said before, that Powell might be the best candidate either party could have for a 1996 run for the presidency and would, and now I quote Robertson, win in a walk. Powell has not talked up a second career in politics, but he hasn't ruled it out either.